I'm Joshua Kissi.
I'm Travis Gumbs, and together we make up Street Etiquette. Uh, I guess we won't go into too much about what Street Etiquette is. We're gonna cover that a bit later, but we're here today to talk about heritage. Like, so when we were approached by Creative Mornings to just talk about heritage, we asked ourselves the question, what is heritage? Even like how does that fit into what we do, and what does that even mean to us? And I know a lot of people are like, two black guys at the band speaking about heritage. It's not even Black History Month yet, but but I really think it's something that we all can relate to, because it's a question we all ask ourselves from time to time. Who exactly am I and whatnot, and what makes me me? And I think I think heritage is the stuff that's passed down to us, like the land and buildings and all that, traditional meaning of heritage, but it also relates to who you are, your ethnicity, what kind of music was passed down to you, what kind of dance, traditions, stuff like that. And us growing up in New York, it begs the question of what's the heritage for a kid growing up in New York, because New York is so multicultural that there's many people from many different backgrounds coming together in one culture. And these are all of our friends. This is an actual editorial that we did and a short film coming out in September called Slumflower. And this part was just one scene of the film. And this is just a bunch of our friends, like immediate friends. A lot of these from the Bronx and Brooklyn. And you can see that they're all from different backgrounds, but all of them grew up in New York City. And so it just really showcases how much of a melting pot New York is, and how that plays such a big role in what we do. So you can take it from
Oh yeah, for sure. So, what I call is like New York City heritage, in a sense. Like, New York is so complex that all these different cultures and heritages kind of make up this melting pot, as Travis said. So like growing up in New York City, like my typical day, like going to school would be like waking up. My dad is right here. He's West African, like screaming at me, Joshua, get ready for school. And I'm like, I'm trying to get up. I'm like trying to put on the stuff, like then I go to the bodega. There's a Puerto Rican cashier, like probably think I stole something. He's like, Negrito, ven aquí, Negrito, ven aquí. And I'm like, I didn't steal anything, like yet. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he's already accusing me. I get on the subway, there's a Jamaican dude with incense, like, you take the incense, then make your house smell good, And I'm like, I don't need any incense, I'm just going to school. So by the time I get to school, in the Bronx, primarily our teachers are Caucasian, like, Josh, you're late. And I'm like, I'm late because of like just New York's cultural exchanges, and I'm sorry. This is a part of history, you know what I mean? So, so at this, I thought that was a good story though. I really thought that. I was like, yeah, that's so amazing.
He practiced that all night.
I was like pacing back and forth, like, how can I really detail New York's heritage without, going off too much in the storytelling mode. I'm not an actor, obviously. But so basically, like, all those different kind of inspirations and heritage you see just kind of molds New York to what it is. And at the same time, going to all these different places, a West Indian barbershop, a Chinese store, Indian, like all these places, even though I'm making fun of these people with accents and intonations and stuff like that, they have something really special, and that's they speak another language. So we exchange information, and that's one of the most important things about New York City. If somebody speaks another language and they have an accent and they speak in English, there's no need to make fun of them. Of course, it sounds funny, but at the same time, we should have a cultural exchange, and that's what New York City kind of really builds into.
Yeah.
So,
and just to bring that back home, it's like all those experiences and whatnot, make us who we are. And now, I'm from St. Kitts, and Josh is Ghanaian, but we share a certain, a certain culture that is irreplaceable. And that, that's also part of our heritage. It's hard to talk about heritage without speaking about culture because, the two are like interchangeable and it's based on one another. But, a good way to think about it is that heritage, the way we understand it, is something that, it's something that is passed down to us. And culture is the way we interpret that and live our lives, collectively. So, I mean, our kids, just imagine how each and every one of you live in New York, or even a lot of cities are pretty diverse nowadays. But imagine you guys living in New York, living in Brooklyn, what your kids, are gonna identify themselves with. Seeing the stuff that Josh saw growing up and I saw growing up, and we're just gonna keep passing that down to our kids, and we're all gonna become, this one big. It's hard. It's one thing that you can't really define. So.
This is me traveling in Thailand, looking like a samurai. No. So we started something called Travel Etiquette, and it's based around traveling through style, just opening your perspective. Because New York City just kind of granted us with the opportunity to see in so many different types of American. So it's one of the cities where we see so many variations of yourself. So as a black male, as a New York City kid, traveling to Thailand was a great experience because we got to see the root of all this culture, just Southeast Asian culture. And that was our first time there.
Yeah. So before we even, so this is a bunch of travel photos, and we're gonna show a little video at the end. But before we even started traveling, and we started street etiquette, we felt like we had we started street etiquette because we felt like we had something to give back, to New York, to people all around, inspiration and whatnot. It really started out of me and Josh just wanted to document our styles. But when we saw people like it, we were like, okay, maybe this is something that, we can do. And it just really showcased. It just really. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so nervous. It's like way too many of you here.
Everybody's so quiet.
It's like way too many people.
So quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is South Africa, Johannesburg. We're gonna show that video in a bit. Yeah, but
Like Travis was saying with street etiquette, we kind of were provided with the opportunity to not only turn people into readers, but turn doers in a sense. So it wasn't just an online interaction. Like people would take the same things they kind of were inspired by on a lifestyle on our website and kind of do it in person. So even when we went to somewhere like Johannesburg, South Africa, like that's the first place where we went and people were like, it was like pandemonium in a sense. We're like, I didn't know we were that big outside of New York. Like this is crazy. And people were just so inspired by what we did on the internet, they kind of replicated in real life.
And I mean, a good part of it is that people related to us. Whether we went to Thailand, Johannesburg, Angola, Brazil, wherever we went, we always found people that were just like back home because there's so many different people here that we were able to find those people that we have similarities to and those people that, we kind of speak the same language with, in a sense. And I mean, that's why we really wanted to travel, is to really, because, New York is like New York light for any other country, so it's like Ghana light. There's Ghana communities, there's West Indian communities, there's, all sorts of Hispanic communities or whatnot. So we really wanted to travel to all these countries and experience it firsthand and then, bring that back home and then you go back on the block and you're able to share those experiences with the people that are, really from those countries or whatnot. So.
And there's people that haven't left the country at all, even a city or even a neighborhood. So it's good to like exchange that information with them. They ask like, "What is Thailand like?" The first thing they ask, "How's the girls?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, some of them are men, some of them are, no, but at the same time, we knew we had to build a community, and that's what the website really did for us. So people feel like they know us even before they even meet us in person, just through Twitter, Instagram, and all the social media. We kind of turned that into our own story and narrative just through art and creativity online. So I'm glad I invited my parents so they could know exactly what I do now. So it's like, so it's awesome experience.
Yeah.
Want to click to next?
So this is also in South Africa. This is Ouija from the Brooklyn Circus, Haitian, of Haitian descent, and he went to South Africa and loved it, and he kind of took on these guys who were living in Soweto, I guess, in Johannesburg, and kind of took him on as mentors now. So it just goes to further show how, coming from where we come from, we have such a wide scope, and we see the world a lot differently because of, the heritages or whatnot that we're exposed to. This is in
This is in Angola, Luanda, Angola. It's a marketplace. It was super hectic. I mean, everybody there speaks Portuguese, so it was kind of hard for us, but at the same time, just through body language and just mannerisms, we were able to communicate with people, and they spoke, somewhat of English. But it was super intense because it reminded me of Ghana, but it was like, I don't understand any of these people. So it just kind of meant me like how broad Africa is in its general. And these are some of the images from Angola, the kids, and just people living everyday life.
Yeah. And I encourage you guys, we don't have enough time to actually show all our travel videos, but I encourage you guys to go check them out. Because in Angola, that was the most mind-blowing for me personally because they spoke Portuguese, but when we went to the schools, because they had like a little music and dance program at the schools, we went to the schools and saw the kids perform, and it felt like you were in a school in Harlem. If you mute the sound, you literally feel like you're in a school in Harlem. Same dances, the same mannerisms. Like it was like the same exact thing, but just in a completely different country. So that was pretty remarkable.
This is in London, obviously. Oh, she's British. Okay, cool. I'm not. No. This is also in London. These are our friends called Art Comes First, Shaka and Sam. You probably see them all over the internet too, fashion blogs. Good friends of ours. He's from Ghana. He's from Angola. So again, and I'm from Ghana also, and he's from St. Kitts. So all these cultural exchanges, and we all took style as a common thread, as a common conversation. And that's kind of like we're making a new heritage in a sense, in the actual languages through style and lifestyle. So being in London, I mean, it's just like New York City, but not as good, of course. But it was really inspirational to us, and we really want to go back. Go to the next slide.
Mello.
This is our friend Mello X. He's a DJ, artist, engineer, everything.
He's right there.
Oh, he's right there. He's on tour with Beyonce and stuff like that. That's cool. He's right there, support. No, he was literally like in the club partying until like 5. I don't know how he made it there, but I appreciate it. We did a series called Crowned, and it was an editorial based on hair for black men, so dreads, and we were kind of inspired by artists like Basquiat and hip hop artists in the 90s with dreads. So we were like, let's do a fashion editorial on dreadlocks. And my mom, she like hates dreads. She's like cringing right now. But these beautiful images were taken by Andre Wagner, the photographer right here up front. And we basically wanted to, now you see a lot of kids like shaving the side of their hair, growing dreads. I mean, we did this editorial like 4 years ago, so this is like the precursor to all that. And it's a reference point for kids now. So kids kind of see themselves in different online communications, because with TV, it was just like one-way communication. You couldn't talk back to TV, but with the internet, you could communicate your thoughts and kind of take part in culture, and that's what really makes Street Etiquette what it is. This is also a good friend, Mostef, aka Yassine Bey. He's wearing some of the slippers we kind of collaborated with for a clothing brand. The clothing brand now is called Black Ivy. At that time, it was just Street Etiquette. We did a collaboration with Del Toro, and he's just looking sharp and all white, just supporting us. And even him, he was like, it was surreal because we listened to his music, and it's like he really appreciated what we did. It's like you guys are like fighting for something without using any violence or guns or anything, and it's a part of hip hop culture because, of course, like we're born and raised in the Bronx. So it's just a different facet of urban culture and all this mixing and amalgamation of different things.
Yeah, I mean, we chose this picture because, again, he's one of our inspirations when it comes to, what it means to be a new worldly being. And he moved to South Africa not too long ago. I think he came back recently, but
Yeah.
he was living there for a while now. And, he told us about South Africa before we even went. And that made us even want to go even more and, find out about the people that's there and see how we really are, the same people.
This is Maruf. He's Nigerian. He's a rapper. We shot and directed his video, and this was just an awesome shot. I mean, this was kind of ode to like Thelonious Monk, 1950s. So we get a lot of our inspiration from the past. So that heritage is what kind of links us to what we are today. Like jazz artists were super inspired by as far as their style is concerned. We kind of turned that into like a new way of like style today. And this is probably the most notable image we have in street etiquette as far as what we produce. It's called Black Ivy. It was shot on a campus in City College. It was an editorial commemorating HBCUs in the 1950s, in particular Howard University. So these are all of our friends. Everybody, oh yeah. Thank you. These are all of our friends. Everybody, I guess, again, from different cultural backgrounds. And the way we kind of became friends was through lifestyle and style. And there is Travis blocking me, and I'm like in the back. As usual, no, but this editorial, people thought it was shot like at Yale or Princeton. We're like, no, we shot this uptown in Harlem, 145th and Convent, somewhere around there. And people could see that we have these type of entities in our own neighborhoods, you know, and they represent everything that other colleges also do. So.
Yeah. So Black Ivy started here. And then when we were, you know, we would talk all the time about, you know, because we wanted to get into product, all this inspiration, all these travels. We wanted to create something that really encompassed that, like encapsulated everything that we saw and experienced. So we were trying to figure out a name for it, and we realized that, you know, Black Ivy is what it means. You know, to be someone from the type of communities that we came from, with a whole mix of, you know, who knows what, and then leaving that and experiencing new things and interchanging with people and stuff like that. And we really felt like the Black Ivy was the perfect word for that. So we started Black Ivy about, I want to say 2 years ago. And this is something we recently did, actually. It's a Black Ivy
edition of the World Cup, like FIFA World Cup edition. So we did 5 different jerseys, all translated in Black Ivy in different languages. So we have German, which, you know, they won. That's great for them. And we have we have Spain, U.S. in the middle, France, and unfortunately Brazil. But I mean, this project, we just always wanted to kind of connect global culture. So through clothing, this is one of the biggest opportunities we have to do it so far.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, I mean, they all say Black Ivy in every different language, and if you look at everyone in the photos, they all look like they could be friends. I mean, they are friends, but you know, we try to tell a story sometimes. But yeah, so I think we did London, but London got knocked out too soon, so we ended up dropping that. Sorry. Yeah, but I mean, again, it's just. Oh, actually, you can actually get the red one still. I know they said not to make it a
sales pitch.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get my money too, so. The red one is still for sale. All the other ones are sold out, but you could get a medium in the red.
No, it's kind of amazing how we sold them. It's just through social media. We didn't go in any like stores or retailers, so people just kind of believe the vision that we built through street etiquette. So I mean, we really have a great relationship with our readers and fans alike. So I mean, it always comes down to product for us. Like, we're not designers by trade, so it's really learning things from the first step and kind of going from there.
Yeah, and another thing was we had more international orders than we had, you know, domestic. I mean, it was kind of equal, but, you know, definitely favored the international folks. And then it gets to speak that, you know, we're in this time now because of the internet, because of Riverphone, because of the type of voice that we have, that anyone can relate from all over the world. And it's pretty like mind blowing when you look at those you know, the customer list, and you see like there's people from, you know, Australia, people from Germany, people from, you know, all different parts of like Africa, you know, people from London just, you know, buying it, and to them it's just like they're just waiting for it in the mail, but you're like a million miles away, and you know, and you work so hard on this thing.
So it's great to see it come to fruition. Is that the last slide, or is it another one?
Yeah, that's the last one.
Oh yeah, that's the hat we made. That's also sold out. Sorry about that. Because people were like, where can I get this? And it's like, it's all sold out. But I mean, of course, that's a good thing. But with Black Ivy and street etiquette in general, what we always wanted to do is just create a whole new narrative from what we grew up with hip hop culture in the Bronx. And so this is what we did, a website. And when I told my parents, like, I wanted to leave school to do this, they were kind of like, are you crazy? And I was like, I feel like we could really create something that's going on. And at first, it was really hard to kind of get it going. It was like 3 years of just working hard. Like, we didn't really do it for a paycheck. We did it because we wanted to express what we were feeling at the time. And next thing you know, all these big companies like Nike and Adidas and Jordan brand, then they hit us up like, oh, we want this the same exact vision for our brand. So it really happened organically. Like, there was no forced kind of notions on our part.
Yeah. And I mean, to really, when we were really sitting down trying to figure out what exactly this talk on heritage is going to be about, it was mind opening for us because we saw the progression, and we realized that, growing up here was, like the catalyst for us even starting this. And we felt like we had something unique, which a lot of people thought that as well. And so it gave us a little bit of success. We were able to leave and get new experiences and then create Black Ivy, which is, the material, evolution of everything that we've been through from, 25 years ago. So again, it's one of those things. I mean, this is heritage in the flesh.
Basically, what he's saying, if we grew up in Idaho, we would not be here. Basically, that's what he's saying. Like New York. I mean, every time you create is on a world scale, and New York's cultural currency is one of the highest in the world because everybody could relate to it at some point. So, it's been a great opportunity. Thank you guys for having us. Appreciate it.